host, also known as Coreworld on social media. I'm the CEO and co-founder of OSSA.AI. We are joined today by a very prestigious individual, a veteran in the social media space. He's been a great help to OSSA.AI, and it is Austin Armstrong. If you guys don't know about Austin Armstrong, he is a lifelong digital marketer, a public speaker, the host of another podcast, Business Talk, which he just had me on, the CEO of Sociality Pro, and the CEO of Syllaby, which I definitely want to dive into today because it is in the AI space. Austin is a good friend, and we met maybe a month ago, and he's been an absolutely massive help to OSSA.AI. He's really helped me grow this community and foster this community of influencers that we've created. So I'm sure we'll talk about that today as well. But Austin, it's great to have you on, brother.
Cole, thank you so much for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure to chat. Yeah, even though we've only been connected like a month, I think we really hit it off, and we're doing awesome stuff together, man. So it's been a blessing to get to know you too.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, brother. So obviously there's a lot to unpack with Austin. He's been in social media for almost 2 decades, maybe longer, but somewhere along there. So he's been doing this thing for a long time. I'm talking Pinterest, I'm talking Instagram OG days, like way back before short form content was a thing. And obviously your expertise extends beyond just short form content, but I know that's what you talk about a lot. But maybe for anyone listening who doesn't know you, just giving a little background into how you actually got started into social media going way back, 19 years ago, and kind of giving us a little stepping stone of how you got here today.
Yeah, for sure. So I was 14 at the time, and everybody was talking about MySpace, and maybe even a little before that. Like, I was a really early child of the internet, I guess. So I remember back, days when we'd get the AOL discs in the mail for 2,000 hours of internet, and you had to choose your phone line or internet. You couldn't do both. So like, I would go on the internet for 2 hours, and like nobody would be able to call the house line, like even before like mass cell phones, which is just crazy to think about how far all of this has come. But even in those early days on AOL, I was drawn to online communities. There were subject matter chat rooms, and different communities that you could jump in, and I really just was captivated by that whole world. And then when MySpace really came out, I jumped all in. I had seen people early on have large followings, and I don't really know what it was about that was so attractive to me, but I wanted it. And so what I did early on is like follow for follow, basically. 19 years ago, 20 years ago, I was doing this. I'd go to a bunch of, this was the whole workflow is I would go to a bunch of people's profiles and click connection request with them. And once I got a couple thousand followers that way, I got introduced to some other creators at the time that had larger communities, and we did everything through AIM chat, AIM groups. We'd go on AIM groups and we'd like promote each other in the like forum area. And I gained hundreds of thousands of followers, 14, 15, 16 years old. And it like when you're that young, you're so impressionable, you're still learning, your prefrontal cortex is still growing, right? And so all of that, the dopamine hit from that, the constant grind, it was like a game to get followers. I loved everything that came with it. The amount of money that I was bringing in from doing early brand deals with t-shirt companies to local bands to doing the same thing I'm doing now. I partnered with a good friend that built a website, and basically it was a website to help other people grow their following on MySpace as well. It was like a train, it was called. You paid for placement on the actual like train, and then it had crazy network effect. Everybody shared it to MySpace because they gained value of it, and you pay for priority placement. And I used my following to grow that tool, and we made a ridiculous amount of money as young teenagers. And that has really carried with me all in life. This is way pre-video. Fast forward to like 10 years ago, is where I really started my professional career in marketing and video marketing. So I started as an unpaid intern, which I think, there's no harm in doing work for free when you see the long-term vision of where it can take you. Not everybody agrees with that, but it worked tremendously for me. So I went from unpaid intern to paid intern to part-time to full-time. We primarily worked with the behavioral health space, so drug and alcohol treatment centers, therapists, psychologists, interventionists, everybody in that space, and really was able to figure out how to communicate with them and get the information out of their brain that's life-saving information, to communicate that on what was really just YouTube at the time. Like YouTube was 10 years ago, YouTube was the only platform worth doing video marketing on. Not many other platforms even supported video at that time. Had a lot of success with that. Fast forward to 5 years ago, I started my first business, Socialty Pro, which is an organic focused digital marketing agency. My boss from the internship became my business partner. So long-term play there. He's also a mentor to me. He's also my business partner in Syllabi, but he invested tens of thousands of dollars in my personal development and training. He sent me to conferences all around the country, sales training, study big ticket speakers on stage. And so, I paved that way, and Socialty Pro is still around. We basically had a repeatable process for short form content. Um, that's where I really got started on TikTok as well. And I have all this previous experience with social media marketing, digital marketing, but it's like I was waiting for short form video to come out for it to like re-click. And so, between the early MySpace days and about 4.5 years ago when TikTok really started to grow, I was kind of behind the scenes. I didn't have a large personal brand anymore after MySpace went away until TikTok came out. And I used that as a way to grow my business. And then, there's a lot of in between stuff there. But basically, I told everybody in our agency that we are not just an agency. We are a system of growth, a repeatable system of growth that happens to be at the stage of life that we are an agency. It is not always going to be the case. I saw that longer term vision. Eventually, that vision became Syllabi. And so I started working on Syllabi about 2 years ago. We actually launched it January 25th of last year. So about a year and 3 months it's been live now. And Syllabi is based on my repeatable process and my philosophy. It's one of the things that makes us different. It's a step-by-step workflow tool to successfully create content on social media. So that was a long ramble there, but that's kind of my history.
No, it's awesome. I mean, a lot to unpack there, but I love how you kind of talked about, because I went through that same process of social media. This was probably half a decade ago when I first started. And it's when you have those first videos and you don't really know what it means, you just know there's numbers and followers and there's money. You just essentially get addicted to it because it's so much fun, and you play, it's like a game. It's like, how many followers can I get? How much money can I make? And there's no structure there. So I think that's really funny as like you started in that same spot. And now obviously from the outside looking in, a lot more professional, obviously business owner. I'm sure lots of processes to support what you're doing and repurposing content and funneling all the traffic. So I've seen it firsthand. It's definitely nowhere near probably what 16-year-old you was doing back at that time. So that's a pretty insane story. So I want to.
It's just the power. Yeah. It's the power of consistency. Sorry to cut you off. It's just the power of consistency over time. Like it I hate the overnight success thing, right? Because I kind of blew up overnight, but it's based on 15 years of consistent learning and applying and failing.
Yeah.
15 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah. And kind of segueing here, I think I'm happy you brought this up, and you did cut me off because that's an amazing point. And I think it ties into probably what's happening with Syllabi too, which I want to dive into, which is that no matter if it's Syllabi, no matter if it's OSSA.AI, no matter if it's any of these tools, right? Nothing is really guaranteed. And really, when you use these tools, they're as good as your understanding of how to create content, right? And they're just a stepping stone. And I think that's like really important. That's something I really like about Syllabi is that you guys aren't marketing, which a lot of these tools are. And I see you guys as very unique in this way too, is like, from what I've seen, you guys aren't marketing. This is how you go viral on social media. This is how you do everything, right? Granted, you give those stepping stones, the workflows. That's a word I like that you use, which is that content creation requires some sort of expertise. There's no tool out there that's going to do everything for you. And you can tell that Syllabi was created by a creator, Austin, with tons of experience, because the base framework of how it's built is off of that, right? It's a tool to supplement your content creation, right? But there's still expertise needed. And I think that's really cool. And that's how I can tell that Syllabi, because I was looking into it and looking to how it's built out, because Austin was nice enough to give me a couple free months. So thank you. But I was looking into it, and that's something that I think's really cool. And that's why I believe tools like Syllabi, tools like OSSA.AI will be here really long term, because a lot of these bigger companies, you can tell they're really tech development AI based, not so much creativity creator based, right? And that only comes with someone like Austin who has so much experience. So I'd love to hear more about. Obviously, we can dive back into consistency, because I know you're big on that. We were in a mastermind call, and Austin talked about how he's posting, many times a day for 5-10 years longer. And that's really what it takes. But I would love to hear a little bit more about Syllabi. What was kind of the inspiration to start that, and how are you guys doing now?
Yeah, and that really resonates because I love, one of the things that we have in common here is that we were both creators before that we were actually business owners, right? And I think you hit the nail on the head. Like, there's so many, and of course there's success stories out there, right,
Hmm.
of product led social media tools. But I think one of the things that really gives us an advantage, and sort of the shift from the traditional model of like venture capital raising based off of a pitch deck and an idea,
Hmm.
without having like real experience. Like, so many companies were like, here's the idea, we need millions of dollars, we're going to build the idea, and then we're going to figure out how to market it later on, and they don't do it, right? But we figured out marketing before we even built the tools.
Yeah.
We are creators, and we know how to nurture audiences and build that organic value, which saves us so much money and,
Hmm.
and time, and we can go to market faster and test all of these things. So yeah, anyway, the idea for Syllabi came a couple years into Socialty Pro. I told you I had the idea in my head was always that we are a system of growth that will eventually turn into another repeatable process. And I played around with that thought. What could that look like? Like, we've mastered social media. We know how to do this. We've had a million successful case studies with clients over and over again. Originally, I thought what would be cool to do is kind of the Gary Vee approach of like, we have this marketing engine. We acquire small companies and pump it through our marketing engine, blow those companies up and resell companies.
Mm.
And I didn't really get to that point. I still think that that's a pretty cool, badass idea. But yeah, it just sort of came to me like, with involvement of software and OpenAI's API coming out, and hearing about all these like new content creation tools, that how can I take what has worked for me and has worked for all of our clients in a repeatable format and turn it into step-by-step software, to make it accessible for as many people as possible. Social media, my whole mission why is that social media has changed my life, in every way for the better. And I just want to provide the tips, tools, and strategies to change other people's lives as well. And so we took all of that. And so what Syllabi does, and some of the problems that it faces, that we tackle first, is business owners, content creators, entrepreneurs know they need to create social media content. It's a
Hmm.
no-brainer at this point, but they don't know what topics to create. They don't know what to say on camera. Maybe they don't like being on camera. They need help staying consistent and accountable. And they don't have the budget to hire an expensive marketing agency or hire a team and outsource a team to do all of the work for them.
Hmm.
And so we took all of those problems, and with our process, we turned it into Syllabi. So what Syllabi does is it shows you trending topics in any industry, what questions your customers are searching for. part of my social media philosophy is that social media is a search engine. You don't need to dance in order to have success on TikTok or Instagram. You need to provide value. I'm a business owner, right? And I believe that that's how you gain a lot of trust and build rapport with your audiences, by delivering incredible value. So we show you the questions and topics that your customers are actually searching for. With a click of a button, you'll generate a video script around that question or that topic. The script fits the best practice. I won't go too deep into that, but every script is basically social media ready. Customize it, tweak it, as much as you want. Add your own flair to it. From there, you can create videos with talking photos. So you can upload a headshot of yourself. We have, I think, 26 stock AI avatars in there right now, so spokespeople for your brand. We're rolling out as soon as next week the ability to clone yourself. So this has been a big feature. We've been developing this tech. It's our tech. It's not like HeyGen or DID.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool. So there's some big plays that we're working on that on the
Huge.
back end too. But you'll be able to create AI deepfakes of yourself. And this is tech that really works. I've done literally over 1,000 tests personally with 5 variations of my own deepfakes across different niches to test that the content works versus authenticity of only creating content yourself, which is something we can maybe dive into there. But from there, you have a video editor that we built from scratch as well. So it's a custom video editor, very similar and inspired by CapCut, so extremely intuitive. And then you can link up your social media channels and schedule and publish directly to your social media. So you can schedule weeks out, a month out ahead of time, and you can track analytics in Syllabi as well. So we really wanted it to be a one-stop shop. Find the topics, create the script, make the video, customize the video, schedule and publish it, track your results.
Huge. So much value there. Yeah, that's the entire process. And that's what's really cool about that is a lot of what you mentioned in terms of those frameworks are part of the roadmap for OSSA.AI, right? Granted, we're a lot earlier than you guys, but it's like, how can we really just continue to solve problems? And I think that's so cool. And I would guess that a lot of the frameworks of what you've built, kind of what you're saying, is based off of what problems have I had as a content creator, business owner. And that's the same approach that I'm taking with OSSA.AI. And I think, like I said, kind of circling back, I think that's what really separates what we're building from a lot of these other companies. And that's why I believe there's so much more sustainability in what we're doing, because you have big tech companies that are raising tons of money, but they're solving a problem that they never had. And I think that's the big difference, right? Is with all this AI hype and so much money flowing around and VCs being willing to dish out money to AI companies, of course, if there's a good product and there is a need, then they're probably going to put money towards it. But my big belief is over the next half decade to decade, as the dust starts to settle and AI just becomes more normalized and there's not so much hype around it, like people are going to kind of look around and be like, okay, but like which one's actually serving my needs, right? Like what's not just kind of a gimmicky tool that is cool, but like I need something to actually solve my problems. And I think we're on the same page there of, since we've lived and breathed those problems, then we have a really good understanding, because part of it is, I'm sure, feedback from customers. But for us too, it's like, I already know this is a problem. I don't really have to even hear it from my customers. Like I know what's going to be the next problem. I know what the next step is, right? So that gives us a very unique competitive edge, in my opinion, from all these other companies. That's why I'm so confident in creator-led AI video generation tools, because we're essentially building the product for ourselves, really.
Yeah. I love this new, like, this is an emerging pattern I've seen over the last couple of years, that influencers are starting to create their own companies and leveraging their influence to grow. I mean, we've got Mr. Beast, we've got the Paul brothers, what we're doing on the SaaS scale. There's so many amazing instances. This is a complete shift in entrepreneurship now. And I love it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you went through kind of the same situation I did at some point, where it was like, okay, working with brands is great. Getting paid by the platforms is really great too. And you can make a lot of money doing that. But I want to own my own thing.
Oh yeah.
I want to have my own thing. I want to be able to take this expertise and this knowledge and share it with my audience, right? And I think there's value in both, but what's kind of your opinion on that and your experience?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, before I was fired from my last job before I went all in on Socialty Pro. And so I was right at that cutting point that like, who's gonna like, am I gonna quit or am I gonna get fired first? Because like I've been doing this for so long at that point, like I know how to do all forms of marketing. Why am I not doing this for myself? And I think I probably would, I definitely would have eventually done it, but I probably would have hung on a little bit longer if I had not been fired uh, to pull the trigger because it's comfortable. You know, it's having a job, having a stable paycheck is and benefits and everything is comfortable. But you know, eventually you take things into your. It depends if you're ambitious, and it depends on your goals. Like my wife and I don't have kids. We don't want kids, so we're able to take bigger risks. We're able to fail, and you know, like thankfully at this point I'm quite confident that with the audience that I've built, like even if like Syllabi fails for some reason, like I am financially fine.
Yeah.
I will unless all social media drops, I will probably always be financially free as long as I continue. And that's a very rewarding thing as well. But with Syllabi, like I totally agree as well. Like before I launched Syllabi, I've been creating content about useful websites and AI tools since I started on TikTok almost 5 years now. I've been doing this for a long time. So I'm a big affiliate marketer in the space. And so same thing, I got to the point where I'm like, well, why am I driving thousands of website visits and signups for 20% commissions when I can own the company and put my personal brand behind it and collect, the ton on top.
Hmm.
And now as an affiliate, I know how to have an affiliate program. So like we use that to grow a very large affiliate program as well. And yeah, I mean we're building some other like little side AI tool projects and stuff. Not a full time gig, but just for fun because it's like a repeatable process. It's a repeatable process now. Um, but yeah, I think if you're ambitious, you eventually get to that point, especially in marketing. Like you can work for another person long enough until you learn the skill sets, and if you have the balls to take the leap to figure out the business side of stuff and market it yourself, you take the world into your own hands. You take your life. You're in control of your own destiny, and I'd rather fail, uh, but at least I tried.
It's incredible. That's awesome. And yeah, obviously a lot to unpack there, but one of the biggest things I really want to touch on, if we could kind of transition here, is the affiliate side, right? And how did I find out that Austin understands affiliate marketing? Well, funny enough, he is an affiliate of OSSA.AI, and he's actually the top affiliate. And while I was kind of surprised, I wasn't, because ever since Austin and I met, I remember back in the first conversation where we really met was in this mastermind call. So Austin and I have a pretty massive group that we're both a part of, that I started probably a month or so ago, and just been kind of bringing all the AI creators together. Maybe we could dive into if that's been valuable to you, Austin. I know you're creating a school group, things like that, but would love to hear more about the affiliate side in specific to OSSA.AI and kind of how you've leveraged that understanding of affiliate marketing. And then maybe we could talk a little bit about your experience with OSSA.AI. And I mean, he's growing a page. I think I checked earlier, it's 860 subscribers on YouTube, started it a couple weeks ago. But yeah, would love to hear, more about your approaches to affiliate marketing, how that's tied into OSSA.AI and all of that.
Yeah. I love what you've done with collecting and providing value of all of these AI tool creators. It's been an awesome community. I've actually used it as incentive recently. So I have a couple of people that like have bugged me in the DMs, like I want to be an AI tool creator, and I kind of mentor them a little bit. Now I've used it as incentive. I said, as soon as you get to 1,000 Instagram followers doing this, I'll get you in the group. I'll
Oh,
invite you
cool.
to the group.
Yeah, that's
So,
awesome.
so it's like incentive to stay consistent with it, right?
Brilliant.
But yeah, affiliate marketing for me has really worked combining video with email marketing. More recently, just text-based posts. Like this is pretty funny. Like I said, like, sorry, we've talked about it a little bit, but like I broke OSSA the other day
Yeah.
from a text post on Facebook,
Yep.
which is like it's humbling. It's kind of wild to say, but it's cool to see that an audience like you have that much power when you have influence. Um, yeah. So my sort of funnel and approach to affiliate marketing is I will create I'll create videos highlighting different websites, and I have my formula that just kind of works over and over again. Um, and then I will drive them pretty much. So depending on the situation or the link, I will either have that specific affiliate link in my uh, link tree. I use Stan for that. Or what has really worked better for me is an email opt-in page. And so I'll say, like, I made you a giant list of all of these tools. Uh, Click here and enter your email address to get instant access. And they enter their email address in. They were redirected. I've since evolved this a little bit, but they were redirected to a Google spreadsheet that's read only with name of website, description, affiliate link,
Brilliant.
right there. Super simple, super simple. That I gained about 110,000 email addresses from that funnel. Just saying, I made you this list. It's free. Give me your email address. 100,000 people to look at my affiliate links. And then the email I set up as a email drip campaign sequence. So I send emails that are tutorials for each website. It's like every 2 days or something, an email goes out. I think I have a 16 email sequence or something, like, for the top tools that I'm an affiliate for. So it's a useful website email series.
Cool.
Here's a new website. Here's what it does. Here's value props. Here's a step-by-step tutorial. Here's a link to sign up. It's an affiliate link. That funnel has worked exceptionally well for me. And now recently, the last couple of months, I've worked in like ManyChat, which on Instagram DMs, automations, which has been amazing. Like, leave a trigger comment word, comment OSSA on this video, and I'll DM you a link to try it, right? And so that'll get thousands of comments, and which means thousands of direct messages. It creates the intent, and it has a button to click on my OSSA affiliate link right there. How long have I been an affiliate?
Probably a month, maybe like a month,
Okay.
maybe a little over a month. Yeah.
Okay. I'm about to cross 10,000 website visits through my affiliate link on the referred traffic. So pretty significant.
And that's direct.
Pretty
That's not including if somebody saw it and then maybe they go and Google
true.
it, right? So
True.
it could be more than that. And yeah, what I've specifically noticed is that one very interesting thing that Austin's done is he actually took it upon his own time to go and build out an account and establish real social proof that not like, and this is what I respect about Austin, is that he did this. Is some people might just be like, oh, juicy affiliate link, 50% commission. I'm just going to go hype up the tool. This is how you go viral. Here's my link. But Austin took it into his own time. And I don't know if it's him or maybe he has a VA or assistant, but
That's all.
it's him. It's actually him. He's taking his time to go and actually create videos, put them on YouTube. And he grew a channel to almost, it's coming up on 1,000 subscribers, I believe, in about 2 weeks. And what he did in his post on Facebook, which actually broke OSSA.AI. Like that day, we actually had to disable video generation because he sent so much traffic. But it's awesome. It's really funny. We were laughing about it. But what he did is he just literally showed, hey guys, like here's actually my account, screenshot of the views. I grew it to this much using only this tool. And like that was super cool to see. And really what that told me as a founder and owner of OSSA.AI, I'm like, okay, there's something there. What we need to be doing and what Austin taught us is, okay, instead of just letting kind of the affiliates run wild and kind of do what everyone else is doing, which is like, here's this cool video tool, here's how you use it. Instead, it should be, I've tried all these tools and this is the only one that large creators are actually using and getting success with, then show the tool. So as we kind of shift, the thing that we've learned is that through Austin and through some other experiences, that the best way to tell people about OSSA.AI is to show them that, hey, we're not like that tool and that tool. We're in our own category because we actually have large creators that are using it and getting success. So would love to hear
Yeah.
more about kind of that
Yeah.
approach on YouTube and how, how that's all going.
Yeah, it's been such a fun case study. And yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. I just wanted to test um, out of the box videos from OSSA and see how they perform. So like I'm constantly studying different AI tools and stuff, and hand on the pulse of the market. And it's been extremely apparent. Obviously, you created a whole business around this, that faceless videos are crushing it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know how big the window of opportunity is. I think it's definitely growing.
Mhm.
But even more so, I noticed that ancient Egypt faceless videos were getting like tens of millions of views on YouTube. Um, and I was kind of waiting for, like, we're kind of building something, but was kind of waiting for a tool like OSSA to come out to just make this process as easy as possible, to like automate this type of video, where I don't have to spend countless hours like either finding the images or generating the images and then editing them together in CapCut, and then adding a narrative over top of it, and all of that tedious work. So what I did was I found the top like 10 ancient Egypt faceless videos that were doing tens of millions of views. And then I took those topics and I actually used a combination of Syllabi and ChatGPT with OSSA. And
Cool.
so I think there's really cool synergy between Syllabi and OSSA as well, because Syllabi generates video scripts.
Yep.
So I used those topics to and Syllabi to generate the actual video scripts, and I tested ChatGPT to generate the video scripts as well.
Mhm.
And then I just took that video script and took it over to OSSA and have my presets on there. Like I chose a voice that sounds good, hyper realism photos, easy to read
Yeah.
text,
Mhm.
sort of the same format that I was seeing in those videos. Um, and also spit out awesome videos. And they've just been performing. I mean, I'm looking at my YouTube channel now. This has just worked. I mean, I'm at 111,000 views organically, 860 subscribers. I've figured out the series that works, like 5 facts about Queen Cleopatra. So now I'm just going to crank out 5 fact videos about Queen Cleopatra over and over again. This thing's going to skyrocket like crazy, even faster than it already has. Um, and yeah, it's been working. And so, like, exactly like you said, like, the if you want to be a successful affiliate, the best way to do it is by actually showing success case studies. Like, yeah, you can just promote the tool and it does work, but if you actually take the time to test the tool and show your results with your audience, you're just building even more trust. My audience trusts me more because I'm not just sharing a random tool. I'm actually testing the tool and sharing it with them. Like I work in, the hero's journey or the hero's journey is a big part of it, but the like inquisitive mind, the curious creator is sort of an archetype that I've applied to my social media journey. That I'm genuinely interested in how these tools work, and I share my experiments, and people trust me because of that, because they're also interested in the same thing, but they want the trust and the validation that the tool or the website works before they sign up. So that, little nuance there of not just getting into this thing to make money, because that's how you burn out, but actually being curious and testing things and sharing your experiments, and just being transparent with what's working and what's not working is how you build trust online. And the law of reciprocity there kicks in as well. Like the more free information that you give, the more that you're going to get, because they feel like they have to. You've done so much for them for free. Signing up for this tool with your affiliate link, no problem. It's going to benefit me. I'm happy to support you as well.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And just so everybody here knows, like Austin has almost 1 million followers on Facebook, I believe hundreds of thousands on YouTube, 600K plus on Instagram. He had a big TikTok, but it got banned, so that sucks. But He's growing that back up, and obviously super super impressive to be able to grow an account that fast. And the one thing I just want to be like clear on is that Austin obviously understands what a really good script is, and he understands what a good piece of content is, right? So in terms of the actual creation, kind of going back to what we talked about early on, because I think this is really important for anyone listening, just to be clear, OSSA.AI is just a tool, and it's as good as the person using it. And it makes sense to me that someone as competent and knowledgeable as Austin is able to understand tools very good, but also I need to be very good, in my script. And that's why he's using his knowledge plus syllabi plus maybe some fine tuning with ChatGPT, making that script really good, because that's the basis of any video, right? And that's something that's really powerful about Syllabi. So I just wanted to make that clear. Austin obviously has a lot of experience, so his ability to write a really good script, and he kind of threw in a little strategy there. I don't know if anyone picked it up, but it's like that's social media content in general for a brand, for a business, for an individual. Everything already exists out there. We don't have to recreate the wheel. He just basically said, like, that looks like it's doing well. How do I steal like an artist from what topics that are doing well and then make it my own? And that doesn't just apply to content creation on a faceless level, personal brand. Same thing goes for business. And these concepts that I've learned in content creation, I've applied to OSSA.AI. Our pricing page, if you take a look, I'm not going to say the name, but it may or may not be stolen like an artist from a massive company worth $1 billion. Why do we have to recreate our pricing strategy, right? Same thing goes with UI stuff and with business processes. It's kind of all intertwined, right? And I think that's something that's really cool that you just mentioned. As a side note, the one thing I want to throw towards you is like a recommendation for that channel. I think one thing that would increase viewership and also retain more people and get them to binge your content more is segmenting into series, right? So maybe you do a Cleopatra series where it's part 1, 5 facts, part 2, 5 facts.
Yep.
So then if they see in the, like literally just in the comment, you don't even have to put it in the script, right? But if you put it in the comments, in the actual caption, just says part 3, if they see that, like, oh, there's part 2 and part 1, that's something that would probably be really solid, and I would try out doing. And then I think I mentioned this, but community posts with these faceless pages on YouTube have seemed to really, really help with the engagement, right? Like, who would win in a battle, this ancient Egypt person or this person, or your fun fact. So just throwing that towards you if you end up wanting to do that.
Yeah. No, great advice. The first part I am actually doing. So I have 3 series going on right now, and the titles are already like, part 1, part 2,
Brilliant.
part 4, etc. I'm not doing the community posts yet, so I'll definitely work that in. I love that, working some polls. Yeah, that's a great idea.
No, yeah. And you could even, like, once you have a few, this is what my social media manager does for my own YouTube channel. He's just using prompt engineering, like few shot prompting, to basically showcase like examples. And then he just clicks the button and then it generates example YouTube community posts, like a question and then options. And then he just grabs a couple images from a Google Drive folder. So that's like, you might be doing that on your YouTube channel. But it's like, it just goes back to say, right? It's like, we don't need to recreate the wheel. It's just like, oh, that worked. Make me another one like that, please. And then he just takes it and posts it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'm really excited to see how far this channel grows, because it's so fun. It's just like like a side hustle. Just it's just playing. It's just playing and testing. I think my big goal is to get another silver play button over here, entirely with AI. I
That'd
think
be
would
impressive.
be a pretty wild case study.
No, that would be awesome. So kind of wrapping up here, I know you mentioned that, you speak at conferences. If you guys don't know, Austin speaks at conferences. He has one coming up. Would love to hear more about, because I know you mentioned you're going to talk about the OSSA.AI case study. So maybe some of your experience and kind of how you got into speaking at conferences, what you have coming up.
Yeah, becoming a professional speaker was a big goal of mine for the last decade, and I was very fortunate enough to be able to crack into that scene over the last 3 years. I started like 10 years ago, started holding free workshops for local businesses to teach them digital marketing. So I would talk about podcasting, talk about Pinterest, talk about SEO, talk about video marketing, etc. it was kind of a way to like do lead generation. Come to the free workshop, get incredible free value. By the way, you want us to do this for you. We have an agency, and we'll, and that was a cool model. It actually worked. We did lunchtime bi-weekly training sessions. It was awesome. I studied speakers like crazy. I kind of mentioned at the beginning of this, like I became fascinated with the big salesmen on stage, like how ClickFunnels has perfected selling their product suite on stage by showing case studies and all this stuff. And then the limited, like, run to the back of the room right now for 75% off. You're never going to find this anywhere. And just watching the people get out of their seats to run to the back, whether some of that are planted or not. I was fascinated by that.
Yeah.
Fascinated by little tactics throughout speeches of like, a good speaker will get the audience to say yes over and over again. Yes. Like, let me get a yes if this resonates with you. And the whole audience goes, yes. Right. And you're conditioning them throughout the whole thing to say yes when you finally present the offer. Right. You've got them to say yes 10 times throughout your free value speech. It literally is just statistics. You will get more people to say yes to your offer if you sell on stage. Do that as well. And I'm a very extroverted person, so I just love it. But yeah, I mean, I got my first big speaking gig through a cold DM on Facebook. So I had attended this conference, Video Marketing World, back in 2019, something like that. And I've now become very close friends with the owner of that conference, and we've been each other's clients, and we've referred a bunch of clients to each other. But I was just starting to grow on TikTok at the time. I had gotten to about 50,000 followers, and I reached out to him because he was doing podcast interviews for to promote the event. And I cold DM'd him and said, I've been in the Facebook group for a while. I've attended the conference before. I know you haven't had anybody talk about TikTok yet. I'd love to join the podcast. I've had a little bit of traction. I can share a lot of information. If it would be valuable for you, let me know. He said, yes. I joined him on the podcast. Of course, knocked it out of the park. And then I shot my shot at the end of it. I said, becoming a professional speaker is a personal dream of mine. I just want to shoot my shot here. If you'd ever be interested in having a TikTok speaker, let me know. I'd love to do it. And lo and behold, the opportunity popped up. So I led that year. He invited me to be the panel moderator for the first TikTok for Business panel at that conference. Was great, got great reception. And then they invited me back to be a featured keynote speaker the following year on TikTok, standalone speaker. And I leveraged that to get speaking engagements at all types of conferences. Just delivering in free value. People that I don't even know in person have referred me to speak at massive conferences like SEMA. I spoke at which is an aftermarkets auto parts show, the second largest trade show in America, next to CES. And so I've spoken at that conference, which is in front of over 1,000 people, twice now. And I spoke at Social Media Marketing World, which is one of my biggest goals, last year, in front of about 800, 900 people there. It's a huge social media conference down in San Diego. This year, I booked my first 2 international speaking gigs, paid speaking gigs. The one that you just mentioned. So this is called Tube Fest in Birmingham, UK. So I'm going to be talking about OSSA, this cool case study, because I'm talking about leveraging AI tools to grow on YouTube. Is my presentation. So I'm going to be talking about the OSSA case study and some other tools in my YouTube journey and whatnot. And then I'm speaking in Italy as well. And it's just playing that long game again, like consistency over time. Like I joined Toastmasters sessions and learned how to speak in Toastmasters and became that did tons of podcast interviews. Like that's another great way to hone your skill as a speaker. I'll do like 50 to 100 podcasts a year, if not more than that. 2 to 3. Yesterday, I did 3 podcast interviews alone. So I do tons of podcast interviews to sort of test and refine how I communicate the information. And yeah, it's been awesome. It's been an awesome journey. I love public speaking. I do like 5 to 6 in person a year for the last 2 years now, which is about as much as my wife will let me travel. But I love it. I love it. It's been awesome.
No, that's incredible. That's really incredible, and I can't wait to take a look at that. I'm sure it's going to be recorded somewhere, maybe it'll be live. So I'll make sure to have the team tune in, and we'll be rooting for you. And let us know when you do that, so we can prepare once again. We gotta be ready.
Next month. It's in May.
Okay, it's in May. Cool. Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to that. Well, I know we're approaching on the hour, and I'm sure if I know you, you got another call back to back. So I definitely want to respect your time and appreciate you having you on and everything that you've done for OSSA.AI and all the expertise you've had, all the conversations we've had. Obviously, goes without saying. Really looking forward to seeing where Syllabi goes, where you go with all your goals, with being a public speaker, speaking at conferences. Watching, I think Syllabi is going to be a big player in the game over the next few years, just solely because I believe that, like myself, creator-driven video generation is where the world is going, because you can't diminish the value of creativity and control over content creation. And there's just some things that AI is just not ready for. And I think that's a really cool part that I respect about what Austin's doing. And that's why we mesh really well, because we have a lot of the same ways that we're looking at what is truly valuable to, people that we're trying to serve and people that we're trying to help. And the vision of what we're trying to do with what the companies we're building are really much aligned. For us, it's making influence accessible to everyone. And I'm sure that within that is encapsulated the same exact mission as Austin discussed, about really helping anyone create content, and especially for the business side, which hopefully at some point in the future, as we kind of scale, we can go that route. But it's been awesome having you on, Austin. Where can everyone go and find you? Where can they find you personally? Where can they find Syllabi if they want to try it out? If you give me an affiliate link, I could probably toss it in here in the podcast link.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you set up with that. I mean, my handle across social is SocialtyPro, SocialtyPro. I'm pretty active on every platform. Syllabi is syllaby.io. Anybody that signs up gets a free trial. You can completely check it out. Check out our suite of services, everything that we do. I hope you'll give it a shot. It works really well with OSSA as well. It's a great combo together.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Austin. It's been awesome having you on. I'm sure we'll have you on in the future. And yeah, man, let's keep crushing. Let's keep taking over the AI space.
Absolutely, brother.
All right.